This is the all-new iPad mini, which is the first new iPad mini in over 2.5 years. And for this 6th generation, it has been completely redesigned. Inside of the box, we have the iPad mini itself, your typical documentation, along with some big ol' Apple stickers. And no, your eyes aren't deceiving you, there is a power brick included, and that is because this new iPad mini doesn't use the old Lightning port to charge, and instead, Apple is finally using a USB-C port just like on the MacBooks and the iPad Pros. Looking at the iPad mini itself, as you'd expect, this thing is small. I'm actually able to get a full grip on it with just one hand. We got it in the Starlight color, which looks mostly silver with a slight gold hue to it depending on how the light is hitting it. And of course, we have that all new design with the squared edges that match the look of the new iPad Pros and the new iPhones. But outside of the design, the next big thing you'll notice here is the display, which is now an 8.3-inch screen compared to the 7.9-inch screen on the last gen. And this is despite the device itself not being any bigger. To make this happen, Apple made the bezels thinner by getting rid of the forehead and the chin, which means there's no more physical home button and you get the same swipe gestures as you do on the iPhones. Now, the quality of the display itself is just okay. It's not the best iPad display Apple makes. It doesn't have the smooth ProMotion refresh rates or mini LED like on the new iPad Pros, but at less than half the price, well, you can't really expect it to. But if you're coming from an older iPad mini, you're not necessarily going to be disappointed, with the better screen to body ratio being a huge plus. So while Apple got rid of the physical home button, you still do have a fingerprint scanner. It's just now at the top combined with the power button. There is no Face ID, but the fingerprint scanner works just fine since it turns on the screen and unlocks it in one fell swoop. But something that's kind of unusual to see here at the top is the volume rocker. Typically that's over on the left side, but this time around Apple decided to put it right at the top. On the right side of the device, we have the dock for the Apple Pencil 2, which snaps on there magnetically and charges at the same time, which is a nice feature to see. At the bottom, there's that USB-C port we were talking about earlier. And one thing worth pointing out here is while it looks like there are 2 speakers at the bottom and 2 speakers on the top, you're not actually getting a quad speaker setup like you do on the iPad Pros. There's only 2 speakers in total, so one at the top and one at the bottom, with those other grills most likely just for the microphones. Okay, let's talk about the cameras, with the first one being that new 12 megapixel selfie camera, which is not only a big step up over the 7 megapixel sensor from the last gen, but it's also an ultra-wide camera. And by ultra-wide, I mean really wide, unlike anything you've seen on a smartphone. It's able to fit just everything into the frame if you zoom all the way out, and it makes your arms, when you're holding it out like this, look ridiculously long. But the point of the ultra-wide angle here isn't really for taking selfies all the way zoomed out, and more so for center stage, where you can actually set the iPad down while you're on a FaceTime call, and the camera will intelligently zoom and pan to always keep you in frame. Now, on the back, we also get a new camera, with it being a 12 megapixel sensor instead of last gen's 8 megapixels, and for low light situations, you also get an LED flash to help out. In terms of the image quality, well, don't expect it to match the iPhone 13 or anything, but it's still a big step up for sure. You can now record in up to 4K instead of just 1080p, and since the iPad mini has that A15 Bionic chip under the hood, which is the same chip as in the iPhone 13, you also get smart HDR3 photos, which make things look so much better after the fact. So while it's not the best camera in the world, with the upgrades and that A15 Bionic chip making editing content on here buttery smooth, I can see this being a pretty good device for people who are looking to create short form content using just their iPad. But overall, when it comes to the stuff that the iPad mini was already good at, well, it just got better. The bigger screen makes browsing the web and reading ebooks better. The USB-C port allows it to charge faster. The new ultra-wide selfie camera makes video calls way more convenient. And with 5G support available as an option, this new iPad mini, which starts at $500, is a huge upgrade despite maintaining its small size.